What's going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another video. So this is why I love following Coach Prime, because even though it's January, it already feels like we're headed into the new season. College football's back. Here we go. He meets with the team today, as did a lot of teams, but because Coach Prime and they have his son in Wolof Media constantly recording and documenting the entire process, we always get an inside track. That's why I love it, because we get to be a part of it. And freaks like myself who just love college football and just want to just inject it into my veins, love the fact that we get to follow it year round. So he spoke to the team, spoke to the coaches, addressed a few things. We're going to talk all about that today. But before we get into that, of course, let's play my theme music. I flushed my juice down in the club. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another show here. So first up, order of business, we're going to be discussing the future of the defensive coordinator and defensive line. We're going to play a clip or two from Coach Prime. He addressed his staff as well as the players as well. So we hear what he has to say about that. Then we're going to be talking about, again, him dressing the team. And then the coach Schumer confirms that he will be offensive coordinator, which I think we all thought that would happen, but it is now confirmed. That'll also be something interesting to look at. And then some news about Warren Sapp. This is an interesting one here. Some of you may know about this, but again, there was a lot of noise during the months of December that Warren Sapp would be joining the team, although he wasn't there today when they did meet with the team. So let's talk about all those things right now. But first order, let's take a listen to Coach Prime and what he said to the staff, not the team, the staff, about the defensive coordinator and defensive line.
Keep missing DC and our line coach. We're addressing that right now. We could have done that probably in the last month, but I don't want to be quick. I want to be right. I don't want to expeditiously make a decision when it's not the right decision, because you got to understand this is a decision where this person has to understand what we already have in house. We're not going to have the luxury of bringing an entire staff, which you've done a wonderful job with, because I know this is not your own staff, but you've done a wonderful job with working with the staff that we've assembled. And that's what we're dealing with right now. We're probably going to have this done within the next couple of days, so that you know. I want experience. I want someone that can handle the moment and can handle the light. That's why I got the love and affection for Pat, because he's been on the high stage of all stages. He's been ridiculed and criticized just as we have, and he's smelled like smoke because he comes through the fire.
So let's talk about a few things. First of all, he refers to Pat Schumer as coming through, he smells like smoke because he's come through the fire. I'm not saying this is a shot at Charles Kelly or at Sean Lewis, but it's just simply just addressing what he's saying. And I believe it's like, look, I want a guy that's going to be that's been through it, that can handle the grit, that has the experience. Charles Kelly, if you've been watching the show and this channel for quite some time, we broke down his experience. As a defensive coordinator, it's very thin. It isn't very successful. And now he's over at Auburn. It's not a defensive coordinator, but as an assistant staff. That's usually where he kind of thrives at his best. So again, when the spotlight was on him as defensive coordinator, didn't thrive. Now, Sean Lewis was a head coach at Kent State, but an offensive coordinator at a Power 5 schools like Colorado, it's a little bit the light's a little bit brighter. So Pat Schumer has a ton of experience. This guy has been coaching forever. He's almost just about 60 years old. He's been a head coach and offensive coordinator with a ton of NFL teams. So he's a ton of professional experience as well. Now, another interesting point that he talked about is, hey, look, when we bring this defensive coordinator in and defensive lineman in, I don't want them adjusting things. So they have to understand what they're stepping into. Typically, for those who don't know, usually you hire offensive coordinator in DC, they bring in their set of guys, right? They kind of have like a little crew that they walk with, because the last thing you want to do is come in and try to implement your system to new people. That doesn't all the time, right? Sometimes you just hire a defensive coordinator, but like he said, I don't want to just hire a guy and force him into the staff. I want him to understand the staff and buy into the staff and believe into this process. So very important thing to note, and I think it's very professional and respectful how he is taking his time. He does have time, I believe, on his hands, just given the circumstances. But take a listen. He also addressed it with the team, which I thought was great, and again, emphasized his reason for waiting some more. Take a look.
One staff person, two staff members that we didn't introduce is our coordinator. And I could easily choose a coordinator for you, but instead of being hasty, I'd rather be right. Thank you. Because you deserve it. So you got to understand the NFL is just getting over, and there's still some teams in the playoffs. So not only we're trying to get you a pro, but we're trying to get you a professional, either from college or from the NFL, but we're trying to do it right, because this side of the room, right, defense, you deserve that. and we're going to get it right for you. Because a lot of you guys want to go to the next level, and I plan on you guys going to the next level, and we're going to get somebody that can make sure you have all the possibilities of going to the next level.
Given that Pat Schumer is, again, from the NFL, and he kind of starts off this conversation by stating, hey, the NFL is coming to a close. There are some NFL teams that will be eliminated this weekend, as a few just were. Makes you believe it's going to be an NFL guy, although he backs it up with, like, whether it's a professional from college or from the NFL, I have to believe that it is from the NFL. So we'll see who that is, and who they have on their radar. There's a lot of coaches that are floating around, a lot of coaches that are no longer, head coaches anymore. Maybe want to take a step back, come back to the college stratosphere. Name off the top of my dome. This is wild, extremely hot take. Don't take this around with this as the gospel. This is me. Literally just came to my head and I want to say it. Pete Carroll, great defensive mind. Hear me out. Tell me that wouldn't be something incredible to watch. Tell me. That's all I got. Look, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Probably won't happen. Don't even think about it. It would just be fun. Okay, kid can dream. All right, kid can dream. So that's all I gotta say about that. Next up, we're gonna talk about Coach Schumer. He addresses the team, confirms that he will be the offensive coordinator. I'll let you listen to that. Now, again, no surprises here, I guess, but at least it is refreshing to have confirmation on that. Take a look.
Good afternoon. I am Pat Shermer. I'm the offensive coordinator, and I've been a head coach twice. I've been an offensive coordinator numerous times. I've been a position coach. I've been a GA. I've been a player. But in all my years, I've never been more excited to start a year than this year.
This team's fired up, man. They spoke throughout this meeting about winning championships, about being fired up and being successful. And you hear Pat Schumer, he's like, I'm more excited to work with this team than I ever have before in my entire life. And look, that offensive staff is looking pretty elite. O-line's coming together. There's a ton of wide receivers to throw to, tight ends as well. The running back room's going to get a little bit thicker. So I might break out those the positions groups here later on. You guys let me know if you would like to see some of those things. But look, also added to the offensive side of the room is, again, Pat Schumer, offensive lineman Phil Loadout, running back Gary Flea-Harrell, wide receiver Jason Phillips, and then tight end coach Brett Bartolone. So kind of completing the offensive lineup there. Now we're going to head into Warren Sapp, and then we'll play one more clip from the entire meeting, which was probably my favorite clip of the entire meeting. And it's Coach Prime speaking about how him and another coach, when they played together, I think it was in Atlanta, maybe Dallas, where they would bet each other their salary. So if they gave up a catch or he got a catch, he would have to pay him at the end of the year. And he starts talking to these guys. Look, you guys are getting paid. You're getting treated like professionals now. So it's a great little clip. I don't want to ruin it. I'll butcher the hell out of it. So we'll get into that. But what I do want to get into is this article here about Warren Sapp. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this article or have heard about this. Again, because I was wondering where he was when this meeting broke out. I was excited to hear from him. Again, I hadn't seen this. It was written just a few days ago by USA Today. Apparently, there's a little bit of a holdup with Warren Sapp. It says apparently his history involving violence against women that has raised concerns in Colorado, at the same time leading the questions about his hiring there and how the university would address it, and after previous scandals there led to pledges of no tolerance for domestic violence. So apparently in 2017, Colorado's then head coach, athletic director, and chancellor were punished after an investigation found they mishandled domestic violence allegations involving a previous assistant football coach. Now, if you scroll down here, there is another little clip that I want to read right here. So this is kind of, I think, leads us to believe that Warren Sapp more than likely won't be on the staff. I might be getting ahead of myself, but take a listen. By recruiting someone with a history of public allegations of gender-based violence, including domestic violence, they risk promoting violence rather than speaking out against it, said a statement to USA Today, Sports by Violence Free Colorado. The federally recognized anti-domestic violence coalition for the state of Colorado. They risk saying that violence is excusable if the player or coach is successful. They risk undermining the public work Colorado has done to speak out against domestic violence. As advocates, we know the answer is not to ignore the allegations against Mr. Sapp, but to address them head on. So, very, properly worded, basically saying, hey, just because he's good at what he does doesn't mean it's okay. We can just continue to give him jobs. Again, I'm not too familiar with what happened with Warren Sapp. I mean, maybe I'm an idiot for that. I'm not familiar with it. This leads me to believe that this may not be happening because, again, when Coach Prime was talking about this, it almost felt that Warren Sapp was a lock, and now it's not. So this may have put a lot of things on hold that we may have, this would already been settled if this didn't come up. So this would definitely be something we monitor over the next few days. You did hear Coach Prime say the next few days there will be something happening. When that does happen, we'll obviously be ready to drop that. So be sure to turn that bell on because you don't want to miss it when we do. But let me play that clip now. But also let me know your thoughts on this situation. It is an interesting one. It is, again, I just found out about it when trying to figure out what happened. But let me play this clip for you of Coach Prime addressing the team about handling things like a pro. It's a great clip. Take a look.
System with every ball you caught, how much we had to pay? 5 every catch. That's how we practice. So at the end of the year, the party was you could have $100 a day out there, a day, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. That gets pretty costly if you're not practicing your butt off. So we implemented that so I could make sure everybody practiced accordingly. So that's just like if somebody gave up a sack in practice, really cost them. Because everybody want money, right? All y'all getting money, you get NILs, right? You get collectors, right? But you don't want to be treated like a pro. See, pros, when they late, they get fined. But y'all want to be a pro. You want to get paid like a pro, but you want to be treated like a pro. So what if we implemented that? That's on y'all. I can't implement that because it's not legal. And I would never do such a thing that's illegal. But y'all can. So that's the quickest way to your heart is through your pocket. So you defensive leaders, and I know we got a couple leaders. I know one. I'm looking at one right now. So you handle your room. Linebackers, handle your room. Secondary, handle your room. Rushing.
I love this. It's a very old-fashioned way of doing it. I mean, again, it's putting your money where your mouth is. Call them out. Like, hey, you want to talk big game? Y'all want to act like pros? You want to walk around strutting your stuff? Let's strut it then. Go out there and play it. Like, again, he says, I can't force you to do it. But if you want to be the best, put it on the line. And I think, look, we're in this new age where this is where I think Coach Prime is going to excel because these guys want to be treated like pros. They want to get paid like pros, but they also want to continue to be a college kid or, a kid and not have to understand the circumstances. When you go to the NFL, there's that line, you understand this is the pros, and sometimes people still have a hard time figuring it out. It's trickling into college football. That is what it is. That's just the way of the land. Someone's going to start paying you. You're going to be held a lot more accountable than what you were for just a scholarship. And that just is what it is. But you should want that, right? And if you want to be a dog and you want to be successful and you want to get to that next level, start acting like it as soon as you possibly can because you'll be ahead of everybody else. I love it. That was a great clip. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to smash the like button again, turn the bell on, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.